If you could choose to work for any police department in America right now, where would you go and why? For me, 20 years ago, it would have been the Los Angeles Police Department. Not so much anymore. With agencies all over the country scrambling to replace officers who walked out in 2020 and still continue to leave today, qualified recruits now have more leverage than ever. Higher salaries, fat sign-on bonuses, you can literally write your own ticket. So if I'm applying right here, right now, here's exactly what I do, and here's exactly what I'm looking for before I fill out that application. First, politics matter more than you think. I don't mean Democrat, Republican, but if I'm starting off today, I'm looking at the political makeup of my city. Let me explain. When I was green, when I was young, when I was new, I never cared much about the city council or the county commission. It wasn't until much later in life when I realized they're the ones signing your paycheck. They decide your budget, your policies, and even who your chief of police is. One misinformed headline against the police anywhere in the nation and poof, funding gets frozen. Ideologies change. Look at Los Angeles. Do you think those cops want to allow violent protesters to overtake the streets? These decisions are made behind the scenes by your politicians or command staff afraid of pissing off city leaders. Just look back in history. This happened back in Baltimore during the Freddie Gray riots. In fact, remember when Minneapolis city leaders wanted to reimagine policing? Remember when those same city leaders allowed looters to seize control of a police building? You remember when Seattle City Council got involved in policing practices and CHOP was born? What I'm saying is the wrong politicians will destroy an agency and make your job miserable, so choose your agency wisely. And one thing to consider is that chiefs typically answer to mayors or city managers, depending on the structure of the local government. Sheriffs answer to voters. This is why lawmen like Grady Judd can get flipped at the mouth, because they can't control him. Unfortunately, in a city, a politician who knows nothing of patrol work can literally handcuff your department for a few headlines and a block of votes. That's real power, and we suffer for that. Look, the job is great. Don't let me run you off. All I'm saying is before you apply, learn the political makeup of the city. Next up, the district attorney's office. In too many cities, we've seen low-level thieves, trespassers, and vandals get a slap on the wrist or no charge at all because some progressive DAs refuse to prosecute certain crimes. So what does that do to a neighborhood, and what will that do to your agency's morale? States like New York and Illinois enacted bail reform back in 2020, and it's become a catch-and-release circus. People get arrested, and they're back on the streets within an hour with almost no accountability. Imagine chasing the same perp shift after shift, only to see them walking free before you've even finished your report. Is that justice, or is that demoralizing your officers and endangering the community? If you care about the safety of your community, and you want to feel like you're making a difference, the district attorney's office can either make or break your spirit as a cop. So make sure you do your homework. All right, let's talk agency size here. Now, this one's a real toss-up, and honestly, this is all about personal preference. What's more appealing to you? Let's talk about some of the differences. In a small department, you might be the only cop in town. At my first agency, my minimum staffing was just 2 officers and a sergeant. So you run every call. You're the jack of all trades. You don't have a forensics team. There's no detectives to call out. You're it. Now, backup might be a sheriff's deputy from the next county. So when a disturbance call comes in, it could be you and one other guy. Or sometimes it's just you. You're it. Flip the script to a larger agency. You could be one of 25 to 100 cops on shift. Your backup, less than a minute away. That's a good feeling when it's time to go hands-on and someone who can eat you for dinner is trying to eat you for dinner. At a small agency, you won't chase as many suspects or set up as many perimeters or respond to as many in-progress robberies and violent crime calls as you would in a big city. The reason why that might be important to some is the more of those high-intensity reps you get, the sharper and more confident you'll become on the street. Also, very important, whether you're looking to go to a small or large agency, the best thing you can do is hit that like and subscribe button. Boom! Just like that. So in a large city, you can branch out into SWAT, K-9, narcotics, homicide, street crimes, whatever specialty units you want. In a small department, those career paths are limited, and promotions are less frequent at a smaller agency as well. The other thing you want to remember is cops are brutal to each other. They never let you forget a mistake. In a small department, if you screw up that reputation will stick around for a little while. In a large agency, You might be able to switch shifts, precincts, or divisions and hit that reset button. Maybe. The positive thing about the small agency is that if you do a really good job, you're not just a little fish in a big pond. People will recognize your work and you're going to stand out. And if the small agency is a good agency, you'll get more of that family feel and a deeper connection with the community. And that's important to some people. One other thing, don't mistake small agencies for safe police work. Cops have been killed in small villages and in big cities. So what's your vibe? Do you want a small agency feel? Do you want to go balls to the wall every night? Or do you want to answer just a few calls, make nice with the people, and chill? Pick your agency wisely, because as long as you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. All right, let's talk money. Now, don't get trapped by a flashy starting salary and huge sign-on bonuses. They're attractive, but I want you to think long run. Is there a step plan, or will you stay stuck at the same salary forever? What about health insurance? Because young and invincible doesn't last forever. One day you'll get a little older, you'll lose your hair, and you'll start cranking out babies. And they get expensive, really expensive. I'm coughing up $900 a month right now for health insurance, so check that line item. Some agencies have other benefits that can save you a ton of money or even help you make a little bit more money. Look at the take-home car program, vehicle stipends, shift differential pay. Look at the core pay, the overtime options. Does overtime even exist? And yes, look at that pension, even if you're 19 years old. You want to know how much they're going to pay you after you're done chasing the bad guys. As cops, we may never get rich, but we'll have a lot of stories. And if you play your cards right, you'll have a decent paycheck for the rest of your life. Finally, let's talk about morale and the leaders who shape it. Do ride-alongs, get to know the guys, and ask real questions. How is the leadership? Do they support the cops? How understaffed are you, and why? Although 2020 caused most agencies to become understaffed, we're starting to fill positions again. And if an agency can't seem to keep or fill positions, there's a reason why. Ask what that reason is. Is it the leadership? One bad boss can tank an entire department. I once heard a story of an organization who elected a new sheriff years ago and lost 200 employees in 6 months due to horrific leadership. The last thing you want to do is sign up for a sinking ship. Now, some private business models have adopted the idea that clients don't come first, employees do. And if you take care of your employees, they will take care of the clients. If you can find an agency like this, which can be very challenging because this is government work, that's the place for you. That's where you want to be. So if I'm starting my career in law enforcement right here, right now, that's my cheat sheet for picking the right agency. City politics, the district attorney's office, size, pay and benefits, and most of all, the people you work for. Good luck.